reminds me of my past and it reminds me of being happy in general.
Ang sideline lang siya. It's just a hobby.
Nagagalit sila ng konti kasi like, I keep collecting like last na yan
Adolescence, that time period in a person's life where one would be in search of his or her own identity, where emotions are anything but stable. This phase of life is where one explores and starts to hone his or her individuality. In search for one's identity, an individual may look for this in peers, relationships, experiences, and as well as objects. It could then perhaps be a reason that leads a person to collecting. People tend to collect as a form of coping mechanism or a means of emotional filling. They identify themselves with these objects. But with the daily hustle and bustle of life, adolescents may have a hard time balancing their responsibilities and their time for themselves. We interviewed 3 teenagers within Metro Manila who each have their own collection. We ask about their knowledge and experience and how their practice affects their daily life and productivity. We aim to know if collecting can help in transitioning through young adolescence. Meet Jet, a toy collector from Quezon City.
Hello guys, this is my collection. Woo! I've been collecting Transformer toys for like, I don't know, 2 years. I mean, I've been like buying 1 or 2 pieces per year when I was a child. But the real collecting business came when, I entered LaSalle like 2 years ago. Collecting for me is, piecing out together your childhood by buying toys and, for me it's like reconnecting with your past and just being happy with doing what you want to do. Well, as a collector, I usually start my day by checking various online feeds because most of the products I buy are from the internet. I usually check like Facebook groups that sell numerous toys and check if there's anything actually I'm interested in buying. Furthermore, I also check online sources for new products that I may or may not want to purchase. These are from like online na pinakabago talaga, and minsan titingnan ko yung pinakabago kasi baka gusto ko bilhin. Tapos, my daily life is also affected kasi sometimes kailangan ko rin magbigay ng oras para lumabas, tapos meet up kami sa mga ibang collectors na may same passion pero minsan binibenta nila yung mga collection nila and for lower price syempre minsan gusto ko kaya kinukuha ko. I buy them from different kinds of people. Some of them are from the usual toy store, Toys R Us, Toy Kingdom, whatever. And some of them are from other toy collectors that I've met. I bought some of these pieces from different toy collectors from different parts of the Philippines.
Honestly, I think collecting as a hobby, it's more to me, personally, I think it's more of a hobby than a habit. I think it's a way people try to, how do I say it? Try to classify or organize things around them, and then aside from, let's see, it also depends on what their interests are.
It's a bit personal, but for me, I collect as a reminder of someone in the past that is no longer with us. First started out as parang a reminder kasi dati meron akong parang best friend na pinsan, and this is like our hobby. We used to play like these so many times. Every time nag-meet kami, ganun, naglalaro kami. Pero back then, when I was like in grade 2, namatay siya. So I kept collecting para parang, to remember him by. Pero like recently, naging stress reliever rin siya and like, bumibili lang ako pag medyo, hirap ako sa sarili. Parang masaya. Kasi nakakatawa when you bundle up them together and like, sobrang dami nila and nakaka-proud na din na I've amassed this much.
That's basically, I think you can consider that emotion-focused coping. So when you say emotion-focused coping, if there's something that makes you feel good, so in this case, collecting toys, continuing what he and his cousin were doing before, and then it makes him feel good because he remembers his cousin, and I think I saw one part there where he said that it was actually stress relieving for him too. And usually people who use this kind of coping method, I wouldn't say they're prone to depression, but they are definitely more emotional than most. It's not like when you do problem-focused coping. This is where you get totally logical. It's getting reinforced by the fact that every time he looks at his collection, number one, he remembers his cousin, and number two, it just makes him feel happy. So it's his behavior of collecting gets reinforced by that.
In a way, parang this is part of my life now. It's a part that I want people to accept, and this very important talaga to sa akin kasi parang part din ng sarili ko, part din ng identity ko as a Filipino citizen na, or as a person na I collect these kasi sentimental value talaga kasi it reminds me of my past and it reminds me of parang being happy in general. It helps me connect with my brothers a bit more, especially yung bata because the young ones love toys and I have like a lot of them. And pati yung kapatid ko na he fancies some of them na parang it helps us connect na especially isa dyan, hinanap ko for 3 years kasi yun yung gusto niya makuha since bata siya. Kaya hinanap ko yun, hinanap ko 3 years yan, tapos binili ko online kasi hindi siya talaga binibenta sa stores. By the nanap ko. So ayun, parang it helped me become a better brother kasi it helped me have a common ground para mag-connect sa mga siblings ko. And pati sa friends ko, it helps me parang helps them parang know me more na may connection to sa akin kasi ganyan-ganyan. Sa family, I mean, it helps me connect more with my mother's side cousins because lahat kami nagko-connect and may personal competition ako na padamihan tayo ng laruan. Ako panalo, syempre, just look at that. And syempre, pero sa parents ko talaga, medyo di pa nila tanggap. Parang pang-bata. Pang-bata daw, gano'n. Pero okay lang. And sa peers ko, like, para tayo maging friends, dapat tanggap mo to. Kung hindi mo to tanggap, sorry ka na. Bye-bye.
Yeah, it's comforting sa kanya. Like, it's reassuring kasi parang when he goes home, okay, I have this. It's something which is better than most people can say, to be honest. It's fulfilling. Kasi parang if you just get something, I can see the progress right in front of me when I'm doing it.
So those are basically positive emotions that he connects with his collection. And so I don't think you can call that pathological unless he starts hoarding. And remember before when I said na you could consider yourself to be a hoarder if your collection kind of takes over your life. Na not only do you have, for example, a room dedicated to your collection, pero every waking moment is spent thinking about how to accumulate more or earning money in order to buy more to add to the collection. So that's when it becomes pathological, when if and when your participant would start let's say not going to school and then just devote all his time to increasing his collection, that's already pathological. But what he's doing now, he's still fine.
So he's
It's a method of coping sa kanya.
Does your collecting affect your work or education or academic performance?
I guess it does. Negatively, unfortunately. Because we have to give time in order to clean them, wiping the dust, and we have to give time too for, meeting up with other collectors to add more toys to my collection. And so my time that should be spent on academics is now spent on them instead. So medyo parang nauubusan ako ng oras para mag-aral. And syempre, these toys cost money. So I lose money. And yun lang, parang it's also parang yung mga ibang may ibang friends ko, yung nakakatuwa is parang it makes them parang more interested sa akin kasi may ganito ako, like a unique trait na nangungulikta ako. And syempre yung savings ko nauubusan ako. There are days na hindi ako makain. I don't eat to buy that because budgets. I have to meet this guy at a certain date and I have to save this amount at a certain date as well. So I need 700 to buy that. I save 700. Pero 700 ng allowance, so sorry.
But we make sure na we're keeping it level. Kasi I have to make sure that he doesn't do something dumb and not afford eating for a week.
Makes me happier as a person. Parang mas nakakatawa, mas stress relieving na parang syempre pag uwi mo, dami ACADS and whatever, nakaka-stress. Tapos mga ibang tao rin dyan, nakaka-stress sila. Tapos pag uwi ko, boom, kita ko na yung parang nakaka-relax na ganda-ganda ng naamas ko over the years.
So do you think like it helps, it kind of motivates